Good evening. My name is Kelsey Myers, and I am a transformative coach, an expressive arts practitioner, and the founder of Dialogical Persona Healing Arts. I wanted to come on and share a little bit more about my upcoming workshop that is very near and dear to my heart. It's happening this Sunday, November 17th, from 3 to 4:30 Pacific time, right here on Zoom. And it's going to be a monthly series called Embodying Stories, each month with a different theme. And I decided to start this November with grief. Grief is really up in the world right now with everything that's happening politically, with the wars, the genocides, the constant death all around us. There's also a lot of loss in the world right now. People are experiencing personal losses, personal hardships, and that brings feelings of abandonment, rejection, and ultimately grief. And personally, I have recently lost my 17 and a half-year-old Persian cat, Kiki, and since I've been back home, I've really been feeling her absence, the lack of her presence, the lack of her footsteps following me around as I'm moving through the house, or the lack of her cuddles and kisses at night when it's cold. This absence or this lack, this missing something that was loved, that was here, that was around, that was familiar. That's another form of grief. And it's also Adoptee Awareness Month this November. And as an adoptee, grief has really impacted my life, even when I didn't realize it. Um, the loss of my birth mother, the loss of my birth country, the loss of a culture and a way of being in the world, the loss again of that familiarity and seeing myself reflected in another person. These all lead to grief because there is that thing, that important thing, that necessary thing that's missing. So I wanted to help explore these things in our lives that are missing, that feel like a loss or that feel disappointing, that we need to come to terms with and accept and really be with in a way that there's a container for it. So, for instance, when I was 19, I had my first kind of suicidal ideation because I didn't think that beauty existed in the world and I didn't want to live in a world without beauty. And while the things around me were not beautiful, there was still beauty in the world. And by being able to see that and feel that, I learned that I could live, that there was still a reason to be, to exist. And at that time, I was so disembodied and so dissociated that I wasn't able to cry. And that sort of inability to cry was definitely something that I had to learn to unwind in my body physically so that I could cry without having it consume me, without crying for hours until it depleted me and I was literally so exhausted I would pass out. And there were only three times before I turned 32 that I ever cried, and that is exactly what happened because I had no container for grief. So in this workshop, one of the things that I will help people do is figure out what their container is, what that looks like, what that feels like, what shape that is for them, and to help us all embody that in a personal way. There will also be some interactions and witnessing so that there's some mirroring, and there'll be time for self-reflection through journaling and optional sharing There is a really great group forming, and I hope you can be part of it. If you're interested, just send me a DM or an email, and I'll send you the Zoom link before Sunday, the 17th. And I will pop on again and share some more about the workshop, but I just wanted to let you know that this is happening, and I would love to see you there.